The third type are the closed shape sums. In this particular kind of sums, we are dealing with shapes like rectangle, square, triangle. Triangle is very commonly asked. So before doing this kind of sums, you should know the basic formulas that you need to use in this kind of sums. One is the area and one is the perimeter, which you have already studied. So area of a rectangle is L into B. The perimeter is 2 into L plus B, where L is the length and B is the breadth. Square, you know, it is 4A and A square. A square is the area and 4A is the perimeter. And you know about the triangle is half BH, where B is the base and H is the height. And A plus B plus C is the perimeter. Now, we know the basic formulas. So, let us start with this kind of sums. Okay. The length of a rectangle is 9 cm more than the breadth. If the length and the breadth are increased by 3 cm, area of the new rectangle will be 84 cm square more than the original. Find the area of the original. Okay. What is the present situation? The present situation is that the length of a rectangle is 9 cm more than the breadth. So, if I am taking the breadth as x, my length will be x plus 9. Okay. Or if you are taking, I have taken the breadth as x and this is the length. If you are taking the length as x, the breadth will become x minus 9. Okay. It's left to you. However you want to take it, you may take it. Okay. I have taken as x and x plus 9. If the length and the breadth are increased by 3 cm, there comes our natural progression. So my breadth has now become x plus 3 and my length has now become x plus 9 plus 3, which is x plus 12. Okay. The area of the new rectangle will be 84 cm more than the original area. Now, if they are telling the area of the new rectangle is 84 cm square more than the original, so what is my original area? My original area is always length into breadth. So my area will be length into breadth. This is my original area. So they are telling that after the natural progression, the area of the new rectangle will be 84 cm square more than the original. So this is my new breadth and this is my new length. So what is my new area? My new area is length into breadth or breadth into length. Okay. This is actually 84 centimeters more than the original area. You have a linear equation. Solve it. You get x square plus 15x plus 36 is equal to 84 plus x square plus 9x. Common terms are cancelled. Transpose 15x minus 9x, 84 minus 36, 48. Or I can say that the value of x is 48 divided by 8, which is an 8. Agreed? That is my value of the breadth, 8 centimeters, and the value of the length is 8 plus 9. Okay? So I get my length as, my breadth is 8 centimeters and my length is 9 plus 8, which is at 17 centimeter. What do I need to find? I need to find the area of the original rectangle. Area of the original rectangle is 8 into 17. 136 centimeter square. Okay. The length of one leg and base of an isosceles triangle are in the ratio 4:6. If the perimeter of the triangle is half of that of a square whose side measures 4 centimeters more than the base of the triangle, find the area of the square. Okay. So, we have an isosceles triangle. So, you know what is the speciality of an isosceles triangle? Two sides are equal. So, the normal in the normal usage, the side that is unequal is called as the base of the triangle. So, now here we have an isosceles triangle as a present situation whose one leg and the base are in the ratio 4:6. So, my legs measure 4x and the base measure 6x. Okay. Now it is said that if the perimeter of the triangle is half of that of a square whose side measures 4 centimeters more than the base of the triangle. So what is the perimeter of this particular triangle? Perimeter is the sum of all the three sides. Perimeter is equal to 14x. Right. Now, as a natural progression, they have given a square whose side measures 4 centimeters more than the base of the triangle. Base of the triangle measures 6x. The side of the square measures 4 centimeters more than the base. Okay. Now, what is the condition they have given you? The perimeter of the triangle is 4 centimeter. Sorry, the perimeter of the triangle is half of that of a square. So, perimeter of a triangle is 14x. It measures half of the perimeter of square. Correct. What is the perimeter of a square? The perimeter of a square is 4 into the one side of the square, right? So, the perimeter of the square is equal to 4 into 6x minus 6x plus 4. Now, we form our linear equation from the condition, which is 14x is equal to 1 by 2 into 4 into 6x plus 4. Okay. So, what do you get over here? You get 12x plus 8. So, I have got 14x is equal to 12x plus 8. What is the value of x? X is equal to 8 by 2, which is 4 centimeters. Correct. I got the value of x. What have they asked you to find? You have to find the area of the square. What is the area of the square? Area of the square is equal to a square, where a is the measure of one side. Correct. So, what is the measure of one side of the square? 6 into x plus 4. That is equal to 6 into 4 plus 4, which is 24 plus 4, which is 28 centimeters. Right? Now, I need to find out the measure of the area of the square. So, area of the square is given as a square, or it is equal to 28 square. So, you get the value of the area as 784 centimeters square. Now, we have the time velocity or time speed problem. Normally, it is time speed distance. Now, out of all the types of sums in linear equation, the one that most of my students find a little bit difficult is this kind of sums. See, it is basically, I think, do with the understanding of the concept, but I find these sums the most interesting. The reason being, it has got some practical applications also. And as you move higher and you study more science, and you realize that physics, at least motion in one dimension, consists mainly of sums that deals with time, speed and distance. Okay. Now, we will be taking a numerical example and we will be seeing how to break up the sum into the condition, the situation, the progression and the condition, and how to solve this kind of sum, so that you are able to solve however difficult a time, speed, distance sum comes to you, you will be able to solve them. Right? Now you know that speed is distance by time, and if you have a steamer which is moving in water, and if the steamer is moving, steamer or boat, okay, so if the steamer is moving upstream, you know the steamer has a speed, you know the water has a speed. Water is not still, it is flowing in a particular direction. It does not keep moving, it does not keep flowing in both the directions, it flows in one direction. When the steamer is moving along the flow of water, we say it is moving downstream. And if the steamer is moving opposite to the direction of the water, we call it as upstream. Now, when the steamer is, suppose the steamer has a speed of V in still water, and if the water has a speed, or let me take the speed of the steamer as U and the speed of water as V. Okay, then the effective speed of the steamer when it is moving upward or upstream is speed of the steamer minus the speed of the water, and when it is moving downstream, it is speed of the steamer plus the speed of the water. Because the speed of the water actually is helping the steamer to move, so we have to add the speed of the water to the speed of the steamer if it is moving along the direction of water. And when it is moving opposite the direction of water, actually the speed of the water, one is moving in this direction, steamer is moving in this direction, so water is actually slowing down the steamer. Okay, I hope you have understood the logic behind why we are taking the effective speed as U plus V and U minus V. So let us get on with the sums. A steamer goes downstream and covers the distance between two ports in 4 hours, while it covers the same distance upstream in 5 hours. If the speed of the stream is 2 km per hour, find the speed of the steamer in still water. So, let us write the present situation as, what is the upstream speed? it is u minus v, where u is the speed of the steamer in still water and v is the speed of the stream, and the downstream is u plus v. Okay. Now we have our natural progression, which says that the steamer covers the distance between two ports in 4 hours downstream. So we also know that speed is equal to distance by time. So what is my downstream speed? My downstream speed is u plus v is equal to distance between the port divided by time, which is 4 hours. Upstream is distance between the ports divided by 5 hours. Okay. Now, what is our condition? If the speed of the stream is 2 km per hour, which means that our v value is given to us. So, our equation becomes u plus 2 is equal to distance by 4 and u minus 2 is equal to distance by 5. We have two equations. We need to convert those two equations into a single equation having a single variable or a single unknown variable. So, from the first equation, u plus 2 is equal to distance by 4. What is the value of distance? If I am cross multiplying, I will get distance is equal to 4 into u plus 2. From the second equation also, I will get distance is equal to 4 into, here it should be 5. My mistake. 5 into u minus 2. Correct. Now, both these denote the same quantity, which is the same distance between the two ports. So, I can equate both these statements. So, what do I get? I get 4 into u plus 2 is equal to 5 into u minus 2. Okay. Open the bracket. I get 4u plus 8 is equal to 5u minus 10, or I can say that u is equal to 18 km per hour. So that is the speed of our steamer. So what did we do in this sum? We actually wrote the present situation, just the formula upstream and the downstream speed. Now we had a natural progression which said that the steamer is going downstream to cover the distance between two ports in a particular time and upstream in a particular time. Now what was our condition? Our condition, they are telling that if the speed of the stream is 2 km per hour, whenever they say, start the sentence with an if or there is an if in the sentence, that is our condition. They say that u plus 2, which is v, u plus 2 is equal to distance by 4 and u minus 2 is distance by 5. Because we have two equations and we need to convert it into a single equation with a single unknown variable, I cross multiplied the first equation and I got 4 into u plus 2 is distance. From the second, 5 into u minus 2 is the distance. Since both these equations on the RHS is equal to the same quantity on the LHS, I can equate both the RHS. I open the bracket in order to find the value of u or the speed of the steamer in still water. Okay, let us do a couple of more sums and adding a more twist here and there and see how we can progress with solving of this kind of sums. A plane can fly 120 km per hour in still air. With the wind, it can fly 640 km in a certain time. It can fly only half of this distance in the same time against the wind. Find the speed of the wind. Now, instead of water, wind is given to you. So, treat it in the same way that you would treat a steamer in water. Okay, it is plane in wind or in air which is moving. So wind is basically moving air. So even in the case of wind, it flows only in one direction. So it has got an upstream speed and it has got a downstream speed. Okay, so now it is similar to a sum of that of a boat or a steamer in water. Now, what is our present situation? I told you in the case of the steamer kind of sum, our present situation is always a formula. So it is upstream is u minus v, where u is the speed of the plane and v is the speed of the wind in this case, and downstream is given by u plus v. Okay. Now, let us move to the progression. Now we also know one more thing, a plane can fly 120 kilometers per hour, and because it is not given as if the plane can fly as a condition, I will just write it down. So I know the speed of plane as 120 kilometers per hour. I am not going to substitute it in the equation now. I will substitute it when I am writing the condition. Okay. Now with the wind means along the flow of the wind, it can fly 640 kilometers in a certain time. So they have not given the time. In the previous sum, if you remember, the distance was not given to you. The distance between the ports was mentioned, but no value was given. Here, distance is given to you, but no time is given to you. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Our equation will change slightly. So, upstream speed is equal to distance by time. So, distance is 640 by time. Correct. Downstream speed is 640 time, and it can fly only half of the distance in the same time against the wind. My mistake. So u minus v will be half of 640 will be 320 by 10. Okay. Now we have done our progression part of it. Now let us move to the condition. Our condition is when we are applying the speed of the plane in still air to this equation. So what do we get here? U is already given as 120. 120 plus V is equal to 640 divided by time, and 120 minus V is equal to 320 minus time. 320 divided by time. Okay. Now you can see that this time factor is common in both the equations and it is the same time. So what do? We will cross multiply. So when we cross multiply, what do you get? You will get, not cross multiply exactly, bring this to the denominator and this to the numerator so that we can equate both the equations. So you will get time is equal to 640 divided by 120 plus V. This is from the first equation. From the second equation, what do you get? Time is equal to 320 by 120 minus V. So my LHS in both the cases is the same quantity which is the same time. So I can equate my RHS. So what do I get? I get 640 by 120 plus V is equal to 320 by 120 minus V. Now I have got a linear equation in a single unknown V. You know there are fractions. So single terms on both the sides of the equal to side. So we have to cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, what do you get? You get 640 into 120 minus V is equal to 320 into 120 plus V. Correct? 640 and 320 have a common factor which is 320. I will cancel. So I will get 2 into 120 minus V is equal to 120 plus V. Or 240 minus 2V is equal to this. How do we solve? You get 120 is equal to 3V or V is equal to 40 km per hour. Okay. Read the question properly and see what is given to you and accordingly frame the equation and equate in order to eliminate one unknown variable which is the time here. Previous sum it was the distance. The rate of a jet plane exceeds twice the rate of a cargo plane by 100 km per hour. The jet can fly 1800 kilometers in a fixed time. If the cargo plane requires the same time to fly 750 kilometers, find the speed of each. Now, in this particular sum, you can see that there is no flowing, the speed of the plane flowing along with the wind, opposite the wind. So, the upstream speed, downstream speed does not matter over here. Okay. So, let us see how to divide this sum into the situation, progression and the condition. And before I get on with the sum, one thing you have to remember is that as and when you practice more and more sums, it is very natural that the lines between the situation, condition or the progression, whatever it is, it blurs. There is no more line. You are able to do the sum without even resorting to dividing the sum into these three parts and then forming the linear equation and all that. When you keep practicing more sums, it really becomes easy for you to just do the sum without resorting to all these steps. So that is when you realize that you have become good at solving linear equations. It will only happen if you practice more and more sums of each type so that you know how to form a proper equation by not mentally dividing it into a situation, progression, etc. Okay. So let us see in this particular sum what is the situation. the rate of a jet plane exceeds twice the rate of a cargo plane by 100 km per hour. So what is the speed of the cargo plane? It is x. So what is the speed of the jet plane? It is 2x plus 100. So this is our situation. Now, the jet can fly 1800 km in a fixed time. Okay. So my progression is that the speed of the jet plane, which is given by 2x plus 100, is equal to distance divided by a particular time. Okay. Now, what is my condition? My condition is that if the cargo plane requires the same time to fly 750 km, so my condition states that the cargo plane also requires the same time. So the cargo plane speed is x, 750 divided by. Okay. Now they are telling that this time taken for flying both 1800 at a speed of this and 750 at a rate of this is the same. So for solving this, let me cross multiply. What do I get? I get time is equal to 1800 divided by 2x plus 100 and time is equal to 750 by x. Because time is the same in both the equations, I can equate the RHS. So what do I get? 1800 by 2x plus 100 is equal to 750 by x. You have a linear equation in a single unknown variable and you have got fractions on both sides of the equal to sign and single terms. So you know you should cross multiply. Okay. So what do you get? So here I have completed the sum and you get the value of x as 250. Once you get the value of the x as 250, you can, so the cargo plane speed is x, which is 250 km per hour. And in order to find the speed of the jet plane, you need to substitute the value of x in 2x plus 100, which is 2 into 250 plus 100, which is 500 plus 100. You will get 600. The distance between two stations is 425 km. Two trains start simultaneously from these stations on parallel tracks to cross each other. The speed of one of them is greater than the other by 5 km per hour. If the distance between the trains after 3 hours of their start is 20 km, find the speed of each train. Okay, so now read the sum properly, understand the facts that are given to you in the question and also see what is given, what value you need to find out or which quantity you need to find out. Now let us break down the sum into understandable parts so that we can proceed with the sum. Okay. First let us write down the present situation. Now whenever you are writing down the present situation and you know that most of the sums, like most sums have got formulas which are applicable to them. Under the present situation, always write down the formulas so that you know which formula to apply where. Okay. So in this particular case, the distance between two stations is 425 kilometers. So now we have two stations. Let it be A and B. You have the distance between them as 425 kilometers. So the distance between two stations is 425 kilometers. Now it is a sum that involves distance, speed and time. So I know that distance is equal to or speed is equal to distance by time. Okay. Now it is given that the speed of one of them is greater than the other by 5 km per hour. So I can take the speed as x and x plus 5. One train travels at a speed of x and the other train travels at a speed of x plus 5. Now from this you can see that, see, suppose the first train is starting from the point A and it covers a particular distance. Okay. And another train is coming in a parallel track. It is coming in the opposite direction as that is and that is what is given in the question. Now it is given that if the distance between the trains after 3 hours of their start is 20 kilometers. So in 3 hours, what would be the distance that is travelled by train 1? Suppose this is train 1 and this is train 1 and this is train 2. What is the distance covered by train 1 in 3 hours? The distance covered by the train in 3 hours would be speed into time. So let us take the speed of the first train as x and that of the second train as x plus 5. So it will be x into 3. Okay. That is the distance travelled by the train 1. So what is the distance travelled by the train 2? It is x plus 5 into 3. Correct? Now, what is our condition? It is said that if the distance between the trains after 3 hours of their start is 20 kilometer, okay, which means that after 3 hours of the travel, suppose first train has traveled this much of distance given by 3x, the second train has traveled this much of distance given by 3 into x plus 5, okay, and the distance between them is 20 kilometer. Correct? So, the distance traveled by the train 1 plus 20 plus distance traveled by the train 2 is equal to the total distance of 425 kilometer. So, I can write my equation as 3x distance traveled by the first train plus distance traveled by the second train plus the distance between them, which is given as a 20 kilometer, is totally equal to 425. Okay, we have a linear equation which we need to solve. So let us open the bracket. We will get 3x plus 15 plus 20 is 425, or 6x plus 35 is equal to 425, or 6x is equal to 390, which would give me x is equal to 65 kilometer per hour. That is the speed of train 1. So what is the speed of train 2? It is 5 kilometer more than that of the speed of train 1. So it is x plus 5, which is 70. Okay. Now, when you are doing a sum, you don't have to worry about writing each and every single component like this. If you are not able to segregate it into situation, condition, progression and condition, it is absolutely fine. As long as you are able to structure the sum properly inside your head, that is more than enough. And this is just a way that I have suggested so that it is easier for you to start learning linear equations in a single variable. Okay. Okay, so now we have done sums based on age, sums based on closed shapes, sums based on speed, time and distance, and also based on 2-digit numbers. Now let us do some miscellaneous sums which I have picked up from random reference books and see how much you know about linear equations. There are Y more boys in a committee than the number of girls. If there are X students in the committee, write an expression for the number of girls. Now, this question is basically a one marker. You don't have to solve anything. You just need to frame the linear expression that is required for the number of girls. Okay. Now, let us take the number of girls as A. Y more boys in the committee means the number of boys will be A plus 1. So, what is the total number of girls and boys in the committee? It is A plus y. That is equal to x, or I can say 2a is equal to x minus y, or a is equal to x minus y by 2. This is a linear expression for finding out the number of girls. A person traveled 32 kilometers without stopping and then stopped for a while at a diner. He then traveled 96 kilometers at twice the previous rate. If the actual travel time was 5 hours, find the rate before and after stopping. Okay. So now, we have a person who traveled for 32 kilometers at a speed of, let us say his rate or speed was x. Then he stopped at a diner. They have not mentioned the time wherein he has stopped, where he has been there at the diner. So, and then it is mentioned that he traveled 96 kilometers at twice the previous rate. So that becomes 2x. Okay. Now, they have given you the actual travel time is 5 hours. They have mentioned it is a travel time. So, this time spent at the diner is of no importance at all. Okay. We need to find the speed before and after stopping, which means that we need to find the value of x. Okay. Now, you can start doing the sum without breaking down into the 3 components of the situation, progression and condition. If you want to break it down into 3 components, here it is. So, here I have broken down the sum into 3 identifiable parts. Here the person travels 32 kilometers with a speed of x. Speed, I have written the formula required. Speed is equal to distance by time. And then he travels 96 kilometers with a speed of 2x. Okay. Now, the total travel time is given to be 5 hours. The total travel time is actually the time taken to travel 32 kilometers plus the time taken to travel 96 kilometers is equal to 5. Now, since speed is equal to distance by time, time is equal to distance by speed. So 32 is the distance at a speed of x plus 96 at a speed of 2x will give you 5 hours. Now you have got a linear equation in which there is variable in the denominator. So what are you supposed to do? You need to take the LCM and multiply all the terms with the LCM. So let us start solving the linear equation. So now here the LCM is 2x. I will multiply 2x. Now cancelling the common terms, what do you get? 64 plus 96 is equal to 10x, or I can say that 160, correct, is equal to 10x, or I can say x is equal to 16 or 16 km per hour. So I can say that the person travelled a distance of 32 km with a speed of 16 km per hour, and the remaining 96 km at a speed of 16 into 2, 32 km per hour. Okay. Now in this question, the time spent at the diner is of no importance. Suppose they are changing the question slightly, like he stopped for a while at a diner for 1 hour. Okay. And then they are telling that if the actual travel time, so if the time taken was 5 hours, find the rate before and after stopping. In that case, what should you do? In order to find the required travel time, you need to subtract the time spent at the diner from the total time of 5 hours. In the previous case, they had given you only the actual travel time. In this case, I am changing the question. I am telling you that the total time taken is 5 hours and he spent 1 hour at the diner. Subtract 1 hour at the diner, so the actual travel time actually becomes 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4 hours. And then fill the equation. Okay? 8 boxes, all of different sizes, are placed in a row. 2008 books are distributed in such a way that each box receives 2 books more than the immediate smaller box. Find the number of books in the largest box. So now, here we have 8 boxes. Okay? In total, all the boxes contain in together 2008 books. It is mentioned that each box receives 2 books more than the immediate smaller box. So, if this box has got X number of books, this has got X plus 2, this has got X plus 4, X plus 6, X plus 8, X plus 10, X plus 12 and X plus 14. Now, the sum of all these books come to 2008. Now, let us form the linear equation. So 8x is equal to this and x is equal to 244. That is the value of x. Okay. Now, what do we need to find? We need to find the number of books in the largest box. The largest box has got x plus 14 number of books. So, the number of books will be 244 plus 14, which is 258 books. Okay. Rose can complete a task in 20 minutes. Her brother can complete the same task in 30 minutes. If they work together, how long will they take to complete the job? Now, this particular sum comes under the concept of time work sums. There are a lot of combinations of this kind of sums wherein different times and different amount of work are combined together, and so many different quantities are asked to be found. Now, since this is a concept that cannot be covered as a part of a class, I will be uploading a video only on time and work, so that it will come in handy whenever you need it. Now, for the time being, I will be telling you how to solve this particular sum. Okay. Now, Rose can complete a task in 20 minutes. Her brother can complete the task in 30 minutes. So, there is a particular task that Rose can complete in 20 minutes, means she will complete 1/20th of the whole work in 1 minute. Correct? So, in 20 minutes, when you multiply with 20, the whole task is completed. Similarly, for her brother, he will complete 1/30th of the work in 1 minute. Okay. What do we need to find? we need to find if they work together, how long will they take to complete the job? Let us assume that they take X minutes to complete the job. Both of them together. Now, what is the work done by Rose alone in X minutes? It is the work done by Rose in 1 minute into X, which is X by 20. What is the work done by her brother in X minutes? It is X by 30. And we are now taking it that both of them are working together. Correct? This is the part of the work done by Rose in X minutes. This is the part of the work done by her brother in X minutes. Now, this should be equal to the total work. The fractional parts should be equal to 1. You have a linear equation which you need to solve and find the value of x. So, we have come to the end of the class. Now, I am repeating. If you have any doubts regarding this particular class of any of the classes I have uploaded, my mail ID is given below in the description box. You can always mail me. And if you want to get a proper hang of linear equations in a single variable, the only way is to keep practicing. Look out for more sums. There are reference books. There are so many sums which are uploaded in the net of varying difficulty. Start with the simpler ones and then move on to the ones which are slightly tougher. So I guess that is it for today. Keep practicing.